So after working all day yesterday into the night, getting it all looking all back to normal, I was burping the coolant and I was running the engine to get some revs through the engine so I could burp it in the air, and I saw black cloud coming through and bubbling. So it's got a head gasket leak. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take off the fan shroud, the radiator, the alternator, the AC, the water pump, the distributor, the intake. We're going to take off the valve covers, accessories like the injectors, spark plug wires, and we're going to take out the heads and the intake manifold cover. So I got to start going because it's going to be a long one. It's 108 degrees out right now. It's freaking hot. I can't find any videos on the 7.5 liter head gasket removal, so here we go. Head gasket removal coming right up. Battery disconnected. I found a 11mm extension socket still on the ignition coil. That's how good I am. Spare parts rolling around in here. I have no idea for what I'm doing most of the time. But if I can do it, you guys can too. That didn't even feel like it was on properly. So I just marked my distributor so I can put it back in the same spot for timing purposes. I unplugged it right here, made a little A on the other side just so I know that that goes together. Now I didn't charge my AC system, so I can disconnect the AC lines right here and just move those out of the way. I can also disconnect, I need to take off the thermostat. Hello!
Hello vlog camera.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You said you could talk to the camera.
Me?
Did you have permission?
Yeah. They gave you blue eyes in your
Yeah, because they're naturally blue. I changed them for the videos. So nobody knows who I am on the streets. You know how it is. Ish. Sides.
What are they?
They're the heads. You know, in the boat, the things with the fins on, that's what those are. And they have the exhausts on the side. Well, the boat is water cooled.
Yeah.
This is water cooled, but internally, and it reuses the same water, so it has to keep it cool. And so
Does the water get bad?
the water can get bad, but that's not the issue. There's a hole in the gasket from being too hot for too long. Thermostat. You need the confirmation.
Yeah.
You.
Because I'm judging.
not. You'd be nicer to me. You tell me I'm doing a great job and you got
did a
this.
great job.
You got this. Good job, Ed. You got this.
Does it feel like a few more every time?
No, it doesn't never feel like a funeral. Why would it feel sad?
Because you have to take it.
Well, yeah, duh.
Stop holding them. Tell me about ya.
Ugh. So I started to remove the bolts from the exhaust manifold, and this dipstick is tied onto that long one right there, and then this one was just floating, and it should be attached to that short one right there, and it just sandwiches in between the nut or the head of the bolt and the actual block. So I'm gonna make sure those go back in the right place. AC, it's all disconnected and ready to go, and then I plugged the whole the ports on the power steering pump, took the hoses off. So this is actually ready to come off right now and come out of the way. Also, this radiator is also ready to come out, so I'm going to take that out right now. Protect it. It looks like it's next. Throttle cable right there needs to be pushed back through, disconnected from here. Throttle cable's out. I do have a grounding strap back here as well. So I'm taking a look at my vacuum lines. So the mass sensor comes into the back of the intake right there. Then on the tree, the top one, I have coming to this T right there. The bottom one comes to the top of that box right there. I have this one that comes from the bottom of the box on this T right around and to the tab, whatever it is back there. This one on the left and on the bottom of it. And then I have the one on the top of it that goes to the ERG right there. Okay. I'm going to mark those up as well so we don't lose where those go. We've got 4 bolts for this intake right here, and that should move out of the way pretty good. So now what I can remember from this, they're extremely tight. Oh, you know what? Can I just take it off the bottom? I can. There we go. Out. Let's try and see about this intake. See what we got to do for that. No, that looks more like a 3/8, sorry. Yep, 3/8. Okay. Three. One more. I think I got it. Okay. Oh, we're still connected to this one at the back. Got that. And that one. Intake came out. This is what they did for my Yeah, EGR delete. So I always get errors saying that there's not enough flow through there. This one went down to where it goes into the top of the valve cover. This one goes back over to the mass sensor over there. No gasket, just RTV. All right, but that's off now, and it can just sit right there. If you look, it's just the intake manifold now that sits on top. It's going to stop these from coming off. Okay, you're going to have to take the valve covers off to get to the head bolts in there. Fuel rails also need to come off, and that's just going to be a couple of bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this black bracket goes on top of the fuel rail, and they've got another bunch of nuts right there. So let's see. Make sure that all our connectors are undone and labeled, so we can remove that. Okay, I got that ground to do. See if that's the same size. That's gonna have to come off. Going like that. So they're coming out as studs for the fuel rail. There we go. That's off. That's off. Let's start getting some of these injectors out. I have to use a couple of picks. There's clips on both sides of them. There we go. There's 1, 2. Oh, 4. Okay. There we go. That's 7. There we go. 6. Okay, distributor's still on. I looked, and yet don't actually need to remove it, so I'm not going to force that off. What I did do, I loosened, well, I took off the rest of the fuel rail right there. Just moved some of these connectors out of the way from the top. Loosened off the top bolts, as you can see. Took this one off. I got the bolts out of here and all of them out of the exhaust. The exhaust manifold is free. All these big ones are gone. That one doesn't come out because of the firewall right there, so we're going to leave that in for right now. I just loosened and took out all of the exhaust bolts. Let's see if we can focus a little bit down there. Now I'm working on, I loosened these two and just loosened that one. So I got 2 more, and then the bit I don't feel comfortable about, I have to take the rockers off to get to these bolts for the head. All right, all the head bolts on the outside of the head are out. That's what they look like. Loosened up all of these. Gasket doesn't look that great. Okay guys, I got really brave. I took one off. I took the rod out to take a look at that, and then I loosened this bolt. I'm gonna see. Yeah, so this bolt is definitely shorter than the other, so that won't be hard to not mix those up. I undid my rocker arms and I moved my push rods out of the way. I put them over here in order. So front of the engine, the left and right side, so I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the ends, both ends as I'm looking at them, making sure they're not bent. Okay, I haven't done the back one yet. And what I'm doing, I'm moving them, taking the rockers off to the side so that I can then loosen the head bolt right here in between them and get it out. There we go. Put those right there. And then it's important that you put your rockers back. I've also inspected. We're looking at the bottom to see if there's any dirt or scoring in there. We're looking at the bottom of here as well. These lines are to help the oil go through. Those look good, like that. The 7 goes where the push rod goes. There's a little hole to oil it, and then we just go back right on the same spot. I'm going to be looking to take the intake off and the headers off. Okay, it looks like I also need to take this bracket off because it's on the header and it's on the block. So need to make sure we get that also so that we aren't trying to pull it off and it's still attached to the block that way. You can hear all the coolant leaking out of the heads onto the ground. Okay, that's out. Let's put this back so we don't lose it. I'll get it dirty. Now to get the intake manifold off the top of this engine. Okay, that bracket. Yep, it's off the head now. Okay, let's see again. Okay. Definitely freeing up. It's not quite as much as it needs to be yet, but it's getting there. There's the gasket seals at the front. That one went around that way. RTV in the corners, just to help it stay down. Let's see if these go through. These are the only things I can think of that are impeding us. Or could be impeding us, I guess. Oh, there it is. Oh my goodness. These were in it. Both sides. I hope I didn't damage anything messing around with that stupid stuff. Oh man, this whole time. So taking the gasket off this side. I don't see too much. You can see where it started to deteriorate the gasket. The other side. This is the top side, this is the front of the engine. Okay. Take a look at these cylinder walls. They look good. Looking down, we're looking at the cross hatching. You can see it coming this way, and you can see it going down that way too. So that looks all good. That also looks all good. Top of the pistons look good. Yep, doesn't look like anything was hitting. No bright spots. No excessive carbon buildup. So that side of the engine, passenger side of the engine, looks great. Let's try and get this one off now. Alright, got it done. So I'm now going to spray out the cylinder bores with some air to get rid of any coolant that's sat in there. Both sides. Pistons look good, cylinder walls look good from what I can see. There was a couple of lighter spots on the gasket, but nothing telltale signs. So they're off right now, intake manifolds off, and I'm going to bag it up after I put some assembly lube on there too. Just cleaning up underneath, just spray some degreaser. I'm going to clean up all the fluids now with the hose pipe. So hopefully in the next little while I'm going to have the heads cleaned, inspected for cracks and warpage, and resurfaced so that I can put them back in. It should go back in no problem. It's pretty straightforward. There weren't any broken bolts or anything like that, so that was awesome. Yeah, and